Silent of fall! Lakewood are doing it! They're gonna take it! He's gonna bring down Burning. Almost with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monopoint's there. He's still alive! Wait, check his slide. He's going one side. He's going a second. He's taking it. Oh my God! On three! They're all dead!
Welcome back, folks, to the Summit to Europe by GosuTV.vn. I'm LD, he's Merlini, and it's time, Ben, for Tinker versus Alliance. Two roads diverge. Tinker, straight to the top, 5-1. Alliance,
Not so
off
good.
camera, in the gutter.
And
Not quite the gutter.
Only
1-3.
team that Tinker's lost to is Secret,
Yes.
and Alliance has lost to some less than spectacular teams.
They have, that is correct. Let me just bring up the exact results because my memory is that of
Power
a
Rangers.
man with Alzheimer's.
They almost
Empire, Compass, and Power Rangers. So they still have to play Cloud9, Fnatic, M5, Navi, Secret, VP Polar.
and the only team they beat was BBC, and that was scrappy.
Yes. They had to
Scrappy
dig to
victory.
beat them. Well, let's see if they can do it here. Draft's underway, and we'll hop into it right about now. This one, as mentioned, I think if Alliance loses one or two more games, chances are pretty slim they make our playoffs. Only the top 4 out of the 12 teams qualify. And you look at Tinker and Secret, the way they're playing, almost blocks, I would say, with their start and just their trend to qualify for the playoffs.
61-39. Who are these people betting on Alliance?
I
That
think
is,
the odds are with Tinker, man.
that is cray-cray.
That sounds like good odds for Tinker.
Well, they do ban out the LC. Pycat's been playing a pretty mean one, and they've been playing very well around it. Not only has Pycat's play been spectacular, they've also had just really good team coordination. And going with that GG Ogre.
Yeah, the GG Ogre, they don't get their Legion commander, though. And Tinker have been wrecking with that hero, like, every single game. So
They don't get
first phase
Skyrath
ban.
either. That's their most standard opener, I say, is LC Sky.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's been their go-to combo. They have to have known this was coming, though, just because they've had so much luck with the hero. At some point, teams are just going to start banning it. But Quakefa has an extremely wide hero pool. It was sometimes even Pycat running the hero, so
Yeah, they're
I don't feel like you remove this Legion and, okay, you figured out Tinker. But
think-
it does force them to do something different.
This team's one of the most versatile in terms of their hero pool, though. Quakefa can play almost anything. EGM, Wisp, and many other supports. Veteran with those. Sing Sing plays a wide variety of mids. Maybe not like the best at some of the very popular mids, like
Yeah.
Brew and like Mag apparently. But he can play Mag. We only saw it on him once though. Pycat and Boba, too. I don't
Where
know.
d-
Very flexible team.
Where do you see them headed now? Going in the second phase of the draft,
Well,
Alliance have picked up like a good ganking duo in the Scarlet Bat, while Tinker, some gank, but more
think it's
just kind
just-
of a general well-rounded opening.
yeah, 5 fighters deal with Alliance the way that most teams deal with them. Just fight a lot early. Don't try and out late game them. I mean, if you have to, then you will. But generally, just dissect them early, pick them apart in the early game, first 20 minutes, and then they're so far behind that they can't win with their 4
Heroes like Slark, well, I would say maybe Phantom Assassin, but the Wisp is banned.
They should take Slark, I think.
Yeah. Slark, very good against Batrider, good against Skyrath as long as he gets off the Dark Pact, which is hit or miss. And also benefits a lot from this Bloodlust. So that could be an option for them. It's also here that can fight all the time. Big team fight ban out by Alliance, though. They've removed the Tidehunter. They also removed the Elder Titan. Maybe gunning for that Terrorblade pick with this Elder Titan ban in particular.
Yeah, I guess Tinker's in a somewhat tricky position right now because I guess they
could
should
pick
ban out.
if they wanted to, they could pick that.
It's probably better to ban out the Terrorblade though, unless they should either take or ban it right now. I'd say is their best option. See what Quakepa decides to do.
Yeah, the other main carry options that we've seen as of late, I would say, are Medusa, but there's still an anti-mage in the pool, so picking Medusa without protecting it would be pretty risky. There's also Invoker with EMP, and the other one is anti-mage, I guess.
And Spectre.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Spectre's been less popular. They'll ban the AM, they'll pick the Slark, and they say, if you want your Terrorblade, you can have him. We're not afraid.
Do they have the heroes to deal with the Terrorblade? Maybe not yet. I mean, they can always pick one up later with a long duration silence. Or just a lot of burst, like Lean the Lion, anything like that. But, yeah, Slark, I mean, that's very classic pickup. by Team Tinker. Very good for Bat Rider. I'm actually surprised Alliance didn't ban it. If I were them, I'd be much more scared of a Slark than an Elder Titan. Again, this is supposing they're going to pick Terrorblade. So Alliance, what are they going to do? I can't actually think of too many fighters that 4 Protect 1s use when they're trying to not do a 4 Protect 1. And I think Slark's one of the few. Gyro and Luna also come to mind, but that's not really Alliance's style in terms of hero picks.
Will be a Doom from Alliance, but as we saw, Doom is kind of hit or miss against Slark right now until like super late game.
Doesn't disable corrosive skin either, so that's actually like it's like, oh, how many passes are there that Doom disables that's actually useful? I mean, in this game too. Already.
I'm also curious how they look to run this, because it could be like there's 3 options, right? You could run your Bat Rider as the mid, Doom off lane. You could run the Doom off lane and the Bat Rider mid. They could run a Doom core and Bat either mid or off lane. So which direction are they headed? I guess that's the one nice thing Alliance have in theory is some flexibility here.
But I think Tinker has more flexibility, I'd say, too. And not only with like their players, but also they can put Viper +1 off lane. They can do Slark mid, Slark off lane, Slark safe lane. It doesn't really matter. Ideally, they want Slark versus Bat. I think that is definitely the best option for them. And then probably Viper versus Doom. But at the same time, you don't really know if Alliance is going to run carry. It could be Loda on to Doom, for all we know. Probably not, though.
Yeah, it could be. He hasn't played it very often. Generally, they've been drafting greedy and hasn't had the best results, but it still seems like overall, philosophically, they believe that's the best way for them to approach this patch. We'll see. They have good team fight control, a little bit single target heavy, but such good single target that Alliance could look to take some engagements, and they'll need a secondary support here and 1 more core. Tinker now snapping up a Jakiro. There's still a Void out there if they want to run like the mid Viper, the safe lane Slark, and an off lane Void. There's also a Darkseer, though we haven't seen too much of that hero as of late.
I think Void's a little bit too greedy for their liking. They don't want to have the risk of having a liability in the early game in terms of fighters.
Keep the pressure on Alliance.
Yeah, Void's just like, well, I mean, Void's Void.
Yeah. Void is Void.
Void is Void.
The knowledge bombs from the...
So Magnus leads to an usually a melee pick as their last. We could see something like an Alchemist. Tinker doesn't have like heavy burst.
Or maybe one of those ranged heroes with a splash, like a Gyro. Medusa's probably too greedy.
Yeah, Medusa, I think, is.
So they're running a 4-position Doom or Bat if they go that route. Or it's a 1-position Doom. Those are the 2 variants at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
I do like the mag pick. Given that 8 Mother played such a good mag in the previous match, it's a well-deserved pick.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about, like, let's say they run the 1-position Doom and off-lane Bat, solo mid mag?
I think it's fine.
You think that matches up well?
It's better than them trying to play a position 4 Doom and go super green mode, I would say.
Yeah, then you're giving Slark absolute free farm. Ogre will be and Jakiro are a decent roaming duo.
They'll push a tower down very quickly. Actually, they don't really have great counter initiate for its Bat unless Slark has like a Blink Dagger and.
Or unless he's very lucky with his Dark Pact.
Yeah, or Jakiro has a Yule Scepter, which is also a possibility. So we also don't know whether just Jakiro is core or not. I would probably say support though.
Yeah, the options are still open here for Tinker. Mirana removed.
One of Pycat's better heroes.
Yeah. They have run it as also obviously one of Sing Sing's fantastic heroes.
Certainly.
I've seen Bulba play a good support Mirana, so I mean it's a hero that they could run in multiple ways. If it's a core Jakiro, then we're looking at a lot of early pressure. Viper probably, and it will be a Rubik. So core Jakiro, the most likely outcome. There's like that slight chance of a core Ogre, but that seems to be a very niche thing in the North American scene as of yet.
They might be setting up to aggro try though, because I mean Slark's like an okay offlaner, but at the same time, if Alliance goes for a really greedy pick here and does do the jungle Doom or Bat Rider, they can just take complete advantage of that.
Yeah, and Rubik Ogre, fantastic roaming duo. Ogre gives you plenty of damage, and it's enough lockdown for him to get off those right clicks. Jakiro, Slark, Viper, all self-sufficient solos for the most part. Jakiro slightly vulnerable to being ganked. Viper a bit more durable. Well, not that Jakiro's particularly squishy, but doesn't have corrosive skin. These heroes should do well in their 1v1 matchups, and Alliance have to be seeing a lot of early pressure. What's this last pick going to be? it seems like they will try to go for a greedy 4-position Doom or Bat. I'm guessing it's the Doom.
Dang, that is greedy.
That is
Jeez.
so risky against Tinker.
I was like, oh yeah, they're finally trying to not do, and then
It's a core Jakiro. Like, if it was a support Jakiro and another core, maybe you can think, okay, we're not going to be under too much pressure, but this hero is built to destroy towers. He has one job, liquid fire towers, and win early to mid-game team fights.
still, Team Tinker, they're gonna have difficulty pushing up high ground versus a Bat and a Magnet. So fully expect Alliance to not win the laning phase, especially if Team Tinker decides to aggro try. They should aggro try, I think. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, someone needs to smack Alliance down, but if they even get the slightest opening with their lineup, they can run away with this one. Tinker will have to be very cautious about throwing away an early advantage, overextending, and will be the Misery Doom. I also do want to say I have seen jungle support Dooms have huge impact from like the 2-minute mark. If you get the right creeps, which is not something.
Yep, he's boost first. That's a rumor. Okay, this is much better than I would
Yeah,
say. Like
that's something I see
Bat
for the
is.
Chinese teams. Is what did he get? I think he got an early. Might have been an early Ursa creep, and he had a haste turn. So he just runs in, stomps, right clicks, your supports follow up, they get a first blood, and yeah, then the game kind of proceeds from there. It's not the worst support, but a lot of it's just very random, right? If you get like a Wildkin, what are you doing with that? You're jungling. That's pretty much it.
Let's see if Ape Mother can deliver again. He's gonna have to have like a fantastic Magnus game too, and I mean I fully believe that he will do so.
Yeah. There's a Rubik as well. It makes Ape Mother's life quite a bit trickier than the last game. He can't just willy-nilly throw an RP out whenever he sees 2 or 3 heroes. He's got to be cautious about that enter God mode counter initiation. And with that said, guys, we're underway our final match of the day for the Summit 2 Europe. On the dire side, Bulba playing your Ogre, EGM handling the Rubik, Sing Sing taking up the Jakiro's range that puts Pycat on the solo mid Viper. And then in the safe lane, looking to snowball, will be Koikfa on the Slark.
So they're aggro trying, and Alliance knows that they're gonna aggro try, so they're gonna aggro try themselves. So that's kind of funny.
All right, the Doom aggro try is in. We'll see Misery playing that Doom. Ake on the Skywrath Mage, and the off lane goes Loda as the Spectre. Ape Mother the Mag, and that leaves Admiral Bulldon as the safe lane Batrider.
That's
Double
actually
damage rune, though. They could easily first blood him with this.
they have a observer.
There's an
ward.
Observer Ward, though.
This is probably the best lanes for Alliance possible. They're having Spectre matchup versus Slark. They're having Batrider matchup versus the Tri lane, and Mag is Mag.
Yeah, Mag versus Viper, but Ape
He's
Mother with a
gonna
great
get-
block already.
Well, they know they didn't smoke, surprisingly.
Yeah, Ape Mother will hug near his tower. He hasn't skilled anything yet. He's going to save that point in case he needs a skewer. And he'll sit very far back, so EGM will just reveal himself. I think they realize that this has been spotted out. He'll probably place an Observer Ward, and he'll trot towards the top lane. Misery, what do you get? He got that early War Stomp. So, a decent pickup for him.
Boba attempting to put some pressure on the Admiral Bulldog. But yeah, I mean, this is going well for Alliance. Koikva forced to creep pull, not being able to soak up lane experience. Misery getting his free towards the creeps in the offensive jungle. The Ward spotting out the movement from the early 2 supports from Team Tinker. So, I mean, oh no, this is about as good as it gets.
This hero is just so ridiculous. It's a Skywrath, well, maybe not quite as good in harassment, but similar when he just right-clicks you and ignites you, who can tank creep waves. Ogre doing his work already. At 7 base armor. He literally just face tanked like 4 auto attack volleys from all the creeps. 1 tango heals it right up. So in the end it will be dual lanes for Tinker. So far, doing a good job of zoning Bulldog, but not keeping him out of experience range. They are not fully stopping the Spectre from farming. They are getting their pulls out to the Rubik now, and Misery makes his way towards mid. Perhaps hunting for a courier, but this courier will hug the southern edge. That will be difficult. Bulldog forced the Firefly out. He may have to go back to base soon. Pretty much out of regen. Unless he gets a lucky rune spawn.
Good awareness from Pycat.
EGM, skirmish over the rune. He could be in trouble here. Shockwave coming in. Misery's got the stomp. He's got to lift him and then run, but well, Misery actually no mana for stomp. We'll try to do this with right clicks, and first blood goes against EGM. Given to Ake's Skywrath Mage. An important kill for them.
Yeah, nice movement from their supports indeed. And Misery just commanding the opponent's jungle right now. And Bulba, I mean, he's trying to zone out the Batrider, but he's just going to move right along into the jungle.
Yeah, and this is a nice position for Misery now. There's no observer wards to really scout his movements. They know he's somewhere in the jungle, but they don't know where. And he's gonna walk into EGM potentially, but with the boots up, and he's gonna walk off right by Pycat. He will get harassed by that poison attack, gets the stomp up, then turns, but that's gonna prompt a lift. I think should have just kept her running in the end. Now runs the other way, but he'll get leashed up by Koikfa and put to bed. Make it 1-1. Although it did require 3 hero rotation there, same as the Alliance kill from earlier. And Bulbo will lumber towards the mid lane now. He's done a good job of zoning Bulldog, but can he keep him down? It's level 3. It's just tough to get all the way over to this camp and prevent the bat from at least getting something out of his woods.
Yep, Magnus using a early regen rune that will definitely help versus the Bat Rider versus the Viper. Viper dominating his lane though, 18 CS, doubling Magnus's. And he actually has more denies than Magnus has CS. Ouch.
Yeah, that's kind of to be expected. But especially having left the lane, Pycat about to hit level 5. He is scaling up the poison attack. Curious to see if he continues leveling it. Generally, we see a corrosive skin max once in a while, a couple, like 2-3 points in other toxin to really lane dominate, but it's pretty unusual to see poison attack max.
It's nice for Spectre, I suppose, or nice for melee heroes that you want to shut down. Spectre also going for an offensive build with no dispersion yet.
Normally, at least a value point is in order. 10% damage reflected at level 1, 22% at level 4.
Yeah, 10% is just insane. That spell is so good.
Indeed. Well, with that said, guys, we have a little confusion here in our game. But the overall picture so far, just talking about the group standings, Tinker and Secret look very good. 5-1 for Tinker, 3-0 for Secret. You've got VP Polar and Compass Gaming close behind them, both 3-1. Navi 2-1. The rest of the teams in the group have 2 to 4 losses, and in the case of the Balkan Bears, they're pretty much out of it, already 1-6. So the teams that have a decent shot at qualifying for playoffs right now, Ben, it's Secret, Tinker, VP Polar, Navi. I guess I'll throw Empire and Cloud9 on there, even though they have 2 losses, as they've played some of the tougher opponents in the group, I think.
Yeah, they only have 3 games.
Yeah, and so they're pretty early in. What are your thoughts? Like, looking at the teams right now, actually, we'll have it on pause. But yeah, just what's your power rankings right now? Who would you say are the top 4 in Europe for you?
Well, Secret and Tinker are clearly the top 2, I'd say, and everyone else is just a crapshoot. Sometimes they have fantastic games, sometimes they have terrible games. I'm really failing to see some consistency in the mid-tier teams.
It's kind of true in China as well. After Vici Gaming and Newbie, you've Lie Gaming, IG, LGD, LV Gaming, even DK. Like, all these teams are beating each other. You go to SEA, there's absolutely no top dogs. I guess you would say Mushi's team, but the results haven't really been there to back that up. They didn't even qualify for Star Ladder. Execration ended up winning tiebreakers. It's an age of almost too much parity. It's melting my brain, man.
Bulba Misery contesting the bottom lane. Rune, Bulldog is there.
Well, we'll throw off the stun and looks for the invis rune. It actually goes to nobody. The ice pass, the dual breath. They should be okay. Trying to chase Bulba down, but Ogre is just that's a tough piece of meat to bring down. You get the invis on Misery. He has swapped out to a mana burn creep, though. Picks up his Tranquil Boots. Meanwhile, top lane, they look for the kill. On Loda, being chased out, zapped down by EGM. They left their Spectre alone for far too long. And he is punished for that one. Maybe Sing Sing's the trade here, bottom lane.
How can they... I guess maybe they can get... I don't think so. No. Just no. I don't...
Maybe,
If he
burn
takes
into
tower...
body block. Well, that's going to do it. Concussive shot. Now a dagger. They'll stun Misery, but it won't matter. Sing Sing trying to cover his own retreat. It won't save him. Did he just pop us out?
He just tanked like 4 tower hits. What?
This game was hard.
Okay. I was like, there's no way they can get this kill. And then I saw him taking tower. I was like, wait.
You jinxed him, dude. You're getting on the caster commentator curse train.
Man.
The CCC.
Well then.
Now the tides have turned. So, I'd say the Jungle Doom is overall pretty successful now. He's been involved in 2 kills. Hits level 4 at 5 minutes, and maybe they'd even just put him in the off lane now. It seems like that's the plan. They're going to say, Spectre, you go to the safe lane. We'll give our Bat Rider the woods. And this puts their weakest asset in the most defensible position. And Loda does have his treads up despite that death top lane. everyone is honestly doing okay. And I'm a little bit more worried about Tinker. Level 2 Ogre, and nobody else dominating that hard. Slark and Viper farming well, but they'll need to snowball this in the mid game. They can't just be content with a good start. Well, they find Misery now. Is he baiting? Are they bringing in reinforcements? They do have a teleport up on the Magnus, but no TP in sight. He's busy skirmishing for the top rune. Misery accidentally revealing himself from the tree line. He was well hidden there at first.
Yep, tower and a kill.
Well, who's going to come defend it, right? Ape Mother can't. I mean, he could, but then he'll just die.
Bulba securing the haste rune on bottom. Loda free farming on bottom. Going with the early quelling blade too.
Spectre does not last hit very well.
Well, looks like they're trying to go for a sneaky wraparound, but I don't know, Bulldog's only level 4 too. Don't think they can really, I mean, I guess they can counter.
Are they hoping for a Sing Sing face tank of the tower? Is that the game plan? Come on, Sing Sing, just show our tower some love.
I gotta get that liquid fire in. It's an orb, it can't attack me.
Somebody better call Alex Garfield and tell his teams to play to win here. Oh my. Too early in the day for match fixing allegations. I'm just gonna call that lag or just loss of focus. I do know that these teams, especially Taker, really badly wants to make it to the summit. I've been talking to Bulba, and he came here last time, right? But he didn't actually get to play, and I think that was worse for him than not coming at all.
Koikva finds Misery all alone, and we'll
bit of chip damage from Koikva, but
oh, he popped Scorcher. That's a fairly long cooldown too.
it's only level 2.
Yep.
But meanwhile, Bulba gets done a nice observer ward behind this tower, so Spectre returns.
Why do they have Spectre in top lane?
They just keep on trying to dodge, but there's really no good lanes for the Spectre. Bottom lane's not going to be great.
Well, mid would be great if he had an easier time on the Magnus.
That's the Viper, though. It's tough.
Stack newts. But they need that for Bulldog.
But they have no way to farm it for the Spectre. I guess Shockwave and then leave it
easy early level of Empower.
This tower is going to be in deny range as well. Do they commit to the tower kill? Do Alliance look to defend is the question. Teleports are up on Aki as well as Ape Mother. And now the Haunt comes in, Sing Sing getting the tower kill, but now pursued out by Spectre Illusion. Isn't a bit of a pickle. He'll end up falling. They TP out Bulba, so it's a Haunt for a kill on the Jakiro, and in exchange they get a tower. And it's not too shabby overall. Now they pick up their Midas and Quake very quickly.
And Mech almost complete on old Pycat there in the middle lane. And meanwhile, Ape Mother not really making too much headway on his Blink Dagger. He hasn't died yet, but at the same time, his farm has just been thwarted by the Viper. Flying Beast.
Yeah, Mech's out, essentially. He's got his Buckler recipe now and just needs another 150 gold. So we're looking at a 9-minute mech with treads and a Wraith Band and a Midas up on Koikva. So he won't be quite ready to fight yet, but the rest of this team is really strong.
Generally, you look at losing your safe link tower is really bad, but for Alliance, I actually think this might be better for them, because this means that Loda actually has a place to farm now, closer to the T2. But they smoke up Bulba and Koikva going for the kill. Can they actually kill him?
There is a lane ward, but it was just out of vision.
700 HP.
Haunt is not ready for 50. Fortunately, Ake may reveal this one. He's got that really high base move speed, but they wrap Koikva around the other way. 522 with the smoke and the bloodlust. And he will find the opening now. Custom shot's there, but he's going to Dark Pact it off.
The game sense by Alliance.
Good in range.
Well played.
Yeah, good movement from him. And
it's time to start sieging towers, though. Jakiro looks like he's going for the early Void Stone into a Yules. Yules is very fantastic versus Bat Rider. Also decent versus Magnus, to prevent him from skewering. Or just initiating on whoever you may find. But now's the time. Can Alliance fend off and find Spectre some farm and fend off without a Magnus Blink? That's not easy at all.
they got that level 3 Liquid Fire as well. It's about to hit level 4. It is a Yule Scepter Rush from Sing Sing, which is obviously a great item with Jakiro. Set up your Ice Paths and a guaranteed disable to start the fights. Also very annoying for Magnus and Bat when they jump in. Speaking of that Bat, Bulldog, he's wrapping around on the EGM. There's a lift available. You can go for a spell steal, and he steals Sticky Napalm. Not ideal when the Batman's on the case, and he'll pull you in with the lasso. EGM, God mode no longer for him. He will end up going down. That gives Bulldog his Blink Dagger, but this does open the way up for Tinker to really siege this tier 1 mid.
Not Blink Dagger yet. He's not going to have it.
Yeah, and even if he does have it, there's no lasso. it won't really matter.
Magnus really close to his too, 1900.
I think they got a stack here.
Well, they want to defend it though. This means that they can't really defend their jungle at all, which is somewhat troublesome when they have this greedy of a lineup. I guess it's post 10 minutes, so not that big of a deal, but they don't want to fight a Pycat mech with Max corrosive skin.
It's not like a Relic's coming anytime soon. It's 1900 just with treads up right now on Loda. Even if he rushes that Relic, he's still a solid 4 or 5 minutes off from Relic, and probably 6 minutes at least from completing his Radiance. And they're looking for him now, Koikfa, to scout out Loda.
Still,
Eyeing each other off, but they can't really go in on this.
Alliance definitely has better map control right now with the Blink Dagger on Bat, because anyone outside of Slark, I think they can just solo kill with the Haunted. Maybe not Viper either, but still lends them more map control because Team Tinker is forced to fight and looking to dodge until Loda gets big.
They're going to rotate bottom now. Ake as well as Ape Mother, joined by Misery.
Man, this Liquid Fire is just insanely good. Like, they really can't do anything about it.
A bunch of the Bloodlust, even at level 1, is very helpful. You're giving your entire team quite a bit of additional attack speed. It's like basically having a drum charge constantly active and then a little bit more on top of it. As long as you keep it on a few of the main heroes. They'll take the tower. Not to mention it's a super seismic here. Look at this. You're talking about Flying Beast. This is the real Flying Beast.
Man, this courier's pretty cool. The Spirit of Halloween.
Where is it? Oh,
Near the secret shop.
that is cool. What courier is that?
Jin and Yin Fox Spears. I have no idea. And Loda just trying to find places to farm. Went top when they were all bottom. Now they all left. He TP'd, so still closing in. I guess it is going to be a relic for him. 2250 gold on him.
Smoke Yank, a little bit discombobulated from Alliance. They decide to back off. I wonder if you just have to go for this relic. I feel like even if you get
You can
drums
fight with
right now, or Yasha, you're not going to win a fight against Tinker.
You can win with a big RP from Ape.
Yeah.
And then you doom the mech carrier. I don't think it's that far-fetched, especially since Slark doesn't have any items yet. He just has Treads and Midas, a ton of attack speed, but
The
no
one
active
thing with
damage.
Radiance is it doesn't really synergize with Empower either. It's not going to... You're not going to get bonus damage from that, but... It does mean that if he's able to farm up his next few items a bit quicker, then he becomes a beast.
Miz already closing in on his Blink Dagger too. Still, Pycat. Big old fat dragon. 79 CS, most in the game. Not most net
That's a
worth,
Manta
though.
Ray, dude, not a dragon. They're going to RP him, skewer him back in, then they haunt as well, but Pycat stands his ground, pops his mech, and he turns and he'll kill off Fate Mother with Quakefoot in reserve. Lasso from Bulldog, not even bothering to use that. It's a haunt and RP for literally nothing, and that's just the Viper alone. Just wait until his friends show up. A little double-headed dragon in your life is coming.
Why Viper? He has...
Of all the heroes to focus, Max Corrosive Skin, Mech, Point Booster, his effective HP has to be close to 2,000 at this point.
Well, I mean, at least they didn't lose a Spectre, and maybe they thought that Pycat was just messing around with them and be like, hey, I'm big and bad, I'm just going to fly right next to your T2. And without any support, but Tinker's smarter than that.
This gets them the Blink Dagger and Quake for now, and it's going to further restrict where Loda can go. This Slark will be able to close on him in a matter of...
Uh-oh, Skywrath is actually going to die.
If Quakefoot finds him, which he will. Starts with the Dark Pact. The Leap is going to connect. That's the death of Ake. He will throw out the Silence, but Ogre arrives. Actually was worried about the Mystic Flare. Won't end up going down. Didn't have the ult ready. And a patient Silence. Waits until the Dark Pact completes. Now they're going to set up with an Ice Pact. Connects on Misery. It's not a very high level one, though. Doesn't hold him in position for long as Quakefoot leaps over the top. Not really doing anything except zoning heroes out, but this opens the tower up for Tinker. With the early start they've had, they continue their snowball. Now, 6,000 gold lead about to be claimed and a bit of change. 2,000 experience. Spectre is closing in on the Relic. And they haven't actually killed Loda much. 2-1. But map control is slipping away.
Well, you can't say you didn't see this coming, judging by the lineups.
Yeah. They had the choice of going for like a one-position Doom and something that could gank and put pressure out early. They actually have done a good job, I think, considering the draft.
Yeah, actually, yes. Normally you wouldn't say, oh yeah, they lost 5 towers in 15 minutes. That's a
good
great
job.
job. This one is...
You're running a 4-position Doom.
It is pretty good.
And double Blink Initiators
It's a
and then
Midas.
Spectre carry.
It's a Midas from Misery. Screw the Blink Dagger. We're winning this late.
I guess Misery's found a home here. The inventor of Midas Gaming is quick, but will get picked off bottom. Nice pick for them. The Haunt was used, but not going on anyone else.
Yeah, very nice pick.
He's found a good home with what's become one of the greediest teams in Europe lately. Midas Gaming lives on. Although, not quite with the same effect it had when it first came out for LGD. And they're going to find the courier! Oh no, no Michael skills.
GG Relic.
Well, fortunately I hadn't bought it yet. He was 50 gold short. I guess if you're Tinker, you can just look to camp that secret shop now. You've got the Observer Ward on the high ground. Loda might have to do this the old-fashioned way and even smoke into the shop.
Share control. Buy on someone else.
Let
Actually,
Mother
can you
take
do that anymore? I don't know. Who knows?
I'm not sure if you can.
I'm not sure either. I haven't seen it done in a really long time.
Pretty unusual to be unable to access your secret shop entirely at 16 minutes, but that is kind of the problem that Alliance seems to be facing now. They're kind of pitying the general vicinity of this Observer Ward. They may not know exactly where it is, and that's a blink in to steal Devour. EGM looking to keep his own economy up. He'll lay down a macro power just to keep this mid lane pushed in, while he'll address the bottom. Tinker continuing to try and tighten up.
They know it's a good time to fight, though. If he just had his Relic, there's no way he's going to farm his Radiance that fast, too. So they still have, like, a couple minutes.
And he hasn't bought it yet. He's still, until he gets eyes on, like, 2-3 heroes, he may not go for it. In fact, maybe he even is reevaluating the choice.
I think it's the right choice.
At this point, it seems silly not to. You've worked so hard not to get killed and rush the Relic, and
Your whole lineup's based on Spectre getting fat.
yeah, this is not going to be the Doom we saw earlier for Silent, where he's got like Ags, Refresher, Shivas, BKB. If that happens, it's going much later than what that game did. And that was a fairly long game, 45, 50 minutes.
Still holding on pretty nicely, and Team Tinker accrued 7,500 gold, but hasn't much increase since then.
But they're just going to steal all these creeps in the jungle. Loda further restricted up to 4,300 now. He may try to rotate to the top lane. And Tinker don't seem overly urgent about anything. They're just patiently sieging in.
And this Viper, 1,600 HP with Scepter, 17 minutes.
Not to mention the Bloodlust move speed, the opponent's attack speed. And
That is ridiculous farm.
he was 1v1 against the Mag. Not much a Mag's going to do to stop him from farming. With the support Doom, it's not really the best hero to gank the Viper.
He also has no field.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That is mega farm.
Super tank mode engaged.
Yeah,
Tower will fall.
How do they kill Pycat?
They
Doom and ignore?
Doom and ignore. I think if you Doom and ignore Pycat, you just lose the fight.
Wait, do they have Radiance on Spectre yet? They don't. They're actually
he
pushing T3s.
still hasn't bought the Relic.
This is...
He might have just decided that he can't afford to go Relic right now.
Well, they need to do something about this push.
It's not stopping easily. Liquid Fire, max rank. Sing, he just comes in, stabs a little dagger into that tower, backs off, and rinse repeat.
They can pray for 5 misses uphill in a row. Liquid Fire. Easy.
Now against this multicasted Jakiro, man, he's gonna dodge like a butterfly. Getting really aggressive. The life path the creep wave, killing it off.
So let's see where Ape Mother is. He is near the bottom side.
And they get the lift off. They jump onto Misery immediately to start. The RP's there. It does connect on one. Then they skewer 2 back. EGM, no stolen RP for him. And it looks like they may continue to engage here. No, they're going to back off. Pycat continuing to spam his ultimate out. Every time it cools down, they go. And the Slark, who was doomed earlier, will end up falling. Pycat, Saint and Bulba may be forced to retreat. A really nice hold thus far from Alliance. Relic has been purchased, I believe. I think it's on the courier now. Yeah, coming back to base.
But no RP, no Lasso, because Batrider is dead. No Haunt, no Doom. This is
They
actually
have
a
Mystic
good time.
Flare,
Even though it's a 3-on-4.
but how do you set up this Mystic Flare? They'll have the ultimate soon. Another Blink Skewer attempted. They'll have the Lasso for Batrider, but the multicast finds Ape Mother. With him dead, they'll really struggle to keep Tinker out of the base. And now Pycat starts chewing into Misery. They'll finish him off, looking for reinforcements. Mystic Flare's there. Pycat stick charges at the ready. Doesn't quite have mana. That mana cost change to the mechanism. Needs to switch to Entreads and pop it. No, in the end, ended up getting enough HP.
And the
enough mana.
stolen Lasso.
Just in the nick of time. They steal the Lasso after the initiation, and this might be it.
That's a costly defense.
The Spectre didn't die. Does get Radiance, but no Haunt, no RP, no Doom, no Mystic Flare, no Lasso. At this point, you're looking to win, but when you defend your second lane of Rax. This first lane is dead to rights.
Mega Greed not paying off.
Not yet.
Not yet. Need more Midases. Need another 30 minutes.
Based on Alliance's recent decision making, I feel like that's the natural reaction to that. Oh, we lost Lane Rex. Alright, let's get 2 Midases. We'll get another skewer here. Ape Mother does continue to impress, but the trade may come from Koikfo. Leaps in, latches onto Aki, finishes him off. EGM dealing Shockwave. Now they may look for Misery. Another leap in 2 seconds. Dark Pack doing okay damage.
Oh, geez, they want to end the
Buyback
game.
on the Skyrath. A simultaneous buyback of the hero.
Wow. They want to end this game right now.
Tinker say,
Screw waiting. Screw Greed.
Get your Spectre. Forget about it. We're coming in now. He's still got no HP.
Buy a bracer.
Yeah. Buy a bracer. Anything. A cloak.
Get her drums. He needs whatever item. I would even fill up on branches right now. If I
All right, Ben. Let's not get crazy. He can afford a bracer first. It's not that bad. He doesn't have buyback anyway, and you do not want to be worrying about buyback when you offer so little with your first life.
Hey, level 1 dispersion, man.
They did hold the Rex for now. And now an RP. Skewer connects on 2. This time EGM got it, though, I believe. No, he only got the Skewer. That's not ideal. Koikfa doomed and chased down a bit. Loda going to try to pursue him. If EGM looks for the Skewer through, he will fail on that one. 4 dead, and they may lose Pycat as well. The entire squad now in heavy pursuit. This cost them a Spectre buyback.
Uh-oh.
And a Skyrath buyback, but for a team wipe, a triple kill on the dog, and no racks down. Worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it for
Very
sure.
nice by Magnus. Catching, well, he actually prevented EGM from stealing the RP. He just blinked the skewer way too fast for him to react. Well played. Well, so much for ending the game right there. They didn't even get a Rex, so now the game plan is going to shift. Maybe get a Roshan and then push uphill again, but I don't know. Spectre is getting big now.
I'm honestly, Ape Mother's mag is, granted, it's on a smaller stage. This is only an online BO1, but it's starting to remind me a bit of Yao. You remember those LGD Yao mag games or some S4 mag games where it's just like you're losing the laning? Well, I feel like the reason I bring up Yao is because LGD's game plan at TI3 was lose all the lanes and then just win anyway with 1 big RP. This is kind of how it feels right now with Ape Mother. Like, he's got to hit these 2-3 hard RPs, then skewer them back into the tower, out of range of Tinker, and avoid having the RP stolen. And he's managed to bend every single time so far. He missed on 1 skewer, but that was just a regular blink skewer.
Yeah,
Buying time for his team.
Only at 5,000 now with how much of a tower advantage? 5 tower advantage? It's actually pretty good for Alliance.
If they manage to win 1 or 2 more fights and take those towers, they'll probably be up by 5k.
That was the one that they needed to win, that push.
Backs against the wall, Alliance do hang on, but that was without the Aegis. That will be coming out, and the items still are being added for Tinker. Pycat now picks up a Yasha, Koikfa onto an ultimate.
Oh, they want to hold this.
They do not have Haunt for 6. There's also no buyback on Spectre. He has to be very cautious not to join the fight too early. And he's not going to. Roche dropping quite slowly. The Haunt in to go. Then they look for the skewer forward. Ape Mother only found Pycat though. And now he gets slowed out a bit. Tries to retreat the other direction. RP connecting on Koikfa. They'll bring down 2 to start. EGM stole RP. He drops it back the other way. Onto Bulldog. Onto Loda as well. But they've doomed Pycat. And he doesn't seem to be getting the kills quickly enough. Koikfa back into the fray. He bought back for this, and it looks like that's enough. They bring down 4. They earn Loda. Can they stop this TP out? Leap. The stun finds him on the high ground. They had vision from the ward across the way. And now Loda is in a very uncomfortable position. They'll throw in a Viper Strike. This time, Koikfa finds the angle. It's a full 5-man wipe with a Batrider buyback. He's still looking to contest this Roshan, though. Can Bulldog pull out the magic? Or does he just have to give up? He'll give up.
So what was that, 3 buybacks or 2?
Buyback on Bat and a double buyback on Tinker. So a total of 4 deaths for Tinker with 2 buybacks and 5 deaths for Alliance with 1 buyback. But Tinker also get the Aegis.
Okay, so that's still pretty good for them.
It's fairly even, yeah.
I mean, Ape Mother, it's really hard to do that. He had vision of them, but they were just spread far apart. Sure, he had a haste rune, but not able to pull off a big RP, and off the back of that, not able to win the fight. So, Alliance's
It's also one of those
timeline-
things where if you blink it and you whiff your skewer, which he basically did, he didn't catch anyone, you kind of panic. You're like, oh shit. Yeah, I better find someone to RP really quickly before I just get lifted and killed.
And EGM stealing the RP. Pretty nice.
Yeah. 2 hero RP, and doesn't have the stolen RP anymore, as he did end up going down later. But Tinker will push in again. Not waiting for the completed Manta on Pycat, nor for that first item on Koikfa. We'll look for the lane of Rax here. Haunt, cooling down for 10. RP, 7. All the ults will be ready right around the time when this Rax is in real jeopardy. They started off with a ultimate from the Viper. Loda will take quite a bit of damage from this, dispersing as much as possible. Well, and they look still for this Blink Skewer initiation.
It's
Maybe
going to be
Bulldog Lasso.
I think Bulldog's going to pull someone in. They're way too far spread out for RP to be effective.
Maybe Blink Skewer. Well, they'll try just for Pinecap, but he's the Aegis carrier. He's pulled in deep behind enemy lines, pops his mech on life number 1. Will end up going down. Now the Haunt trying to chew into the backlines. Misery stunned out. And can they defend the Viper on round 2? He got pulled so far back. Pycat way deep in enemy territory. He got his Manta in the enemy base. Now Mystic Flare will end up falling. But they take the Rax for that. So they lose an Aegis, they lose their Viper. It costs an RP, as well as a Haunt, but the Rax are down. One lane, not enough for Tinker, though.
Yeah, that's not enough.
this game.
That's pretty good game plan, actually. They're like, well, we can't kill you in front of your team, so we're going to drag you 2 screens away, right next to the fountain, and pass a T4. So if your team comes, they're all going to die, too. So not a bad decision, too, especially considering Viper had the Aegis.
I would agree. That's basically the perfect play there. Your other option is to try and go for a lasso initiation and hope that they clump, then try an RP, but then that's just that's a much riskier play, right? Because if that fails, then your mag's probably out of position. The Viper ends up turning and killing your entire team. You don't pull him far enough towards the tier 4s. I would agree with you, Ben. I think that's the best that Alliance could have done. The right risk to reward ratio of play.
Very smart from them, and I mean, Team Tinker, it's also unexpected, too. So Tinker's not looking for a Yules on a mag or a Telekinesis on the mag. They're looking for on the Batrider. So that's, yeah, very
It gets
smart.
harder for the mag now, though. EGM, building towards a 4-staff. They do have Haunt to prevent the easy Blink RP steal, but once he gets a 4-staff, that will be very difficult to prevent. And in fact, it's already complete. Eye still on EGM to see if he can continue stealing RP, and if he steals it and manages to get 2-3 heroes again, that's probably a second lane of Rax and potentially game at that point.
Jakiro building towards a pipe. Man, Sing Sing 0 and 5. He's died a little bit too much, I'd say, this game. They haven't really used too many ultimates on him either.
He's still building good items, at least. Hood of Defiance picked up. He'll work his way towards the pipe. Really good pipe game. Up against Radiance Burn, Dispersion damage. A lot of magic in general. The Batrider, pretty much all magic damage. Doom and Skywrath.
Most of the games have been pipe games.
Yeah, lately there's been very little physical damage. Or if there is, it's like supplementary. It's not the primary sword.
So are they going to look to try and end it now? Again? Another push? That's tough.
Do they wait for the next Roche? Because if you wait for the next Roche, Spectre has...
Oh, it's a fake push. The fake smoking. That's kind of cool. They're like smoking to try and like kill someone mid and then push in a bottom, but they're actually looking to kill someone top. So again, another unexpected play. Maybe they can kill Doom. He does have his buyback ready to go.
He's almost close enough to reveal this, though, Ben. He's invis, but if he pumps Firefly, that's going to break his invis. And they go in deep top lane. Misery, 8 Mother. Now the trap is sprung. And they'll just settle on the Misery kill, but he BKBs. And he's going to go for the TP out. Devour stolen. Could have committed to kill off the other hero. He's able to TP back to base. 8 Mother surviving. Did not have a BKB of his own. They chose the wrong target there.
He would have been a much better target. But
And
I don't
also
think
a more important one.
I don't think they saw the BKB on Doom, to be honest.
I think he did show it in lane, but they may not have really been paying attention.
And now with Empower, Spectre farming quite nicely. Hitting for a little over 200 with the Pack Wolf Aura. And Aegis still not going to be available for at least another 3 minutes. So what
Loda has heart if he wants to buy it, but right as I say that, he may just die here bottom lane. They're looking for the long-range Viper Strike. Quakefa in pursuit. He doesn't have a teleport scroll. He can Haunt to try and retreat out. Does he go to the top lane, Loda? Where's he gone? Oh, actually,
He has gone for top.
Oh, he's gone top, but I think they run him down here with a Bulbous Stun anyway. Into the tree line, the Creep's his worst enemy. No! The long-range Taker, that last Viper auto attack follows him through the Haunt and ends up getting the kill. Pycat from a world and a half away. The shot literally heard around the world against Alliance. Now Quakefa jumps in. He'll kill off Ake to start. He has Doom on him, but there's no Ag in him, so if he wants, he can just retreat, constantly get that HP regen, and survive. And this will prevent the Radiance, or the Heart purchase. He's going to have to either buy back or watch the second lane of Rax fall. Sing Sing joining the base. There's creeps in the mid. Oh, maybe not. They don't have creeps bottom yet. Big kill there, though.
Yes, that auto attack. What the hell?
It literally followed him from bottom to top. That's highlight worthy, man. We haven't done a BTS moment in a while, but I think that might make the cut.
Still 20 seconds. Do they really want to? I think they have to wait for his buyback, though. They can't push now. They don't want to buyback with like 10 seconds left and then him have really poor item progression. But I think the T3 is going to fall before that happens.
Break comes out, Shockwave there as well, and the Blade Mail forced out by the Spectre. He had a completed heart if he lived, but he decides, I just have to buy something that doesn't require me to leave the base, and that I can get right now while also still having buyback. That's not many items that will fill that requirement. Nice Manta by Pycat. Bulldog going to jump in, but that won't be enough as Koikfa leaps behind the backlines. They get 2 kills. Now, Spectre leaping in. 8 Mother jumps forward, but he doesn't get off the skewer. He gets multi-casted. Oh, that's problematic. Loda with a Blade Mail. No bueno. As they continue to lob stuns and nukes. Tinker able to fight constantly. Alliance only when all their ults are up, and with several ults down, the struggle is severe. They may lose Bulba here, but they've already forced out a Spectre buyback, a Batrider buyback. They forced the Spectre to buy a Blade Mail to try and defend the game now.
Wait, what happened to Mag's RP? Why didn't he have it for that fight? When did he use it?
Maybe I misclicked?
Oh, they must have used it on Viper on bottom, I guess. No, he didn't have it up. He blinked in. It was still 20 seconds on cooldown. If he was just standing there, he's like, oh, my RP's not up. And I guess he had used it when Viper had killed Loda earlier.
Yeah, I think when Loda, because I looked to see where he haunted, and he must have used it in the bottom lane right around that time.
Well, that's very nice for them. 7:30 post Roshan death. Not quite sure what the timer is, and I mean, to be honest, they could just keep going again. Spectre dies another time. 1335 gold, 34 gold.
He also had to buy a Blade Mail, and that's he's actually got his Radiance deactivated. I imagine he's turning that back on soon, but that is really not what you want at this stage. Like, you're gonna have to take this late game against Tinker. You're not winning at this phase, and being forced into an item that you generally only get if you want to fight right now is not gonna help his late game item progression at all.
Well, at least it was that or heart as opposed to that or radiance. If he had to get that radiance, it would just game over. Well,
I don't know how many more times he's going to get to push out the lanes and farm, though. It's getting to that point where Lotus can't really leave the base. The bottom lane's exposed, mid lane's exposed, or mid lane's down entirely, and they will smoke. Looking for a haunt initiation, or follow-up to this initiation. They find the last one, Bulba. If they haunt in to go, they will. As Pycat surges forward, they'll lose Bulba immediately, but Pycat really doesn't care. He pops his Manta, Koikfa joins the fray as well. There's your RP! EGM stealing the Doom and then the Ice Path. Thrown out to follow this up. Didn't steal RP, but that's damn good enough. They'll lose Pycat. Koikfa still staying. Well, is it good enough? Maybe it's not. Koikfa in a bit of trouble here. He's got to leap in a second. Can he get away from Loda in time? Leaping can't. He burns down. But they deal with the Doom, and it seems Loda is not strong enough to take the remaining 3 heroes. Who bought back on the Dire? It was a Viper buyback. So actually a 4 for 3 with a Viper buyback. Not too bad.
yeah,
Very close fights.
If Spectre had died there, it would have been a win for Tinker. But without Spectre dying there, I mean, his Blade Mail actually did a lot of work there.
Okay, he had his Radiance on in that fight, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
he's just toggling it off so he doesn't draw the creep.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give away his positioning. Well, he's actually not going to be healed up in time to go home.
Yeah, he's got a dagger, buy a teleport scroll, sell the Quelling Blade, and even once he comes back, there's no RP for 50. There's no haunt for 50. Lasso is cooled down, but also Doom off cooldown for 40 seconds, or on cooldown rather. So Tinker,
They should get out. They should get out now. Pycat will probably still die to Batrider being.
Pycat really wants this range grab.
Yeah.
That's pretty much done at this point. And he gets lassoed. Maybe he did stick around a bit too long. Pulled into a Mystic Flare. He's still got mech ready, though. And with no real ultimates. Nice Yules! Pre-cast by Sing Sing. His 8 Mother prepared to blink in. He was ready for that jump.
What a
bringing
play.
the Doom as well. Sing Sing bailing out their one-position Viper. Essentially, that's what he's become. He will cost him his life. Basically, the equivalent of a Vengeful Spirit support in that play, even though he has a core.
That was huge. That would have been... I think they would have lost probably 2, and Mag would have lived.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where, like, oh crap, he got caught. But they have their stolen Doom off cooldown. They may go back in on Misery. Blink in. Doom cast now, tossing him back. They need a multicast here to get the easy kill. They don't get it. Actually, oh, they do, but it's only on the Ignite. Not ideal. They'll lose EGM. Pycat comes surging back in. Misery will fall. He had Doom off cooldown, but never got to use it. Now Admiral Bulldog on the run. And
Buybacks all around.
Out. How many buybacks was that? Doom, Mag, and Rubik all popping theirs immediately now to the tree line. Admiral Bulldog isolated, brought down.
Oh, if they can kill
Alliance
Loda right here.
are just giving up too
Loda's
much right
stuck.
now. He's trapped in the trees. He has no haunt, no teleport scroll, no dagger for Christ's sake. Ape Mother only fighting RP on Koikfa, who's very fine with this. He leaps back in. There's a Doom ready to go. Well, maybe not so fine, but now Loda emerges from the trees. Perhaps it's enough to keep him alive. Pops the blade now. Pycat going to work from long range, but Dispersion doesn't do enough. The level deaths will secure the kill. EGM rejoins the fight that simply won't end. And it seems like Tinker will get the upper hand here in the end. Misery forced back, clubbed by an Ogre. That's a tough way to die. They'll force that in. He does BKB, but it's not the longest duration BKB, and EGM is on the hunt. He's really committed to this one. That was a 7-second. EGM will back off.
70 seconds with no Spectre.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 buybacks on cooldown right now. Only Slarko is the gold for it.
Jeez, what a bloody massacre.
Well, let me tell you one thing. Spectre has managed to farm to get gold. I don't know how, but he's got 4K. Still not as much as what you would like at this stage.
That is a heart.
That is a heart. It's also a BKB for the Viper. And that's a big deal, because he's mostly been dying to Blade Mail and Dispersion damage, to be honest.
And Batrider pulling him into no man's land.
Yeah, not to mention that Mystic Flare. Can Alliance possibly do it, Ben? Is there any way?
If they take a big roach fight, I certainly think so. But 2 racks down is extremely tough, requiring usually some errors on the other team.
They do have a good lineup to D-push. All these heroes... Well, Skywrath's not that good at wave clear, but Mag, Batrider, and Spectre with Empower and Radiance. They can get the lanes back out for now, but if they give up Megas, then it's probably too much at that point.
Yeah, at this point they have to deal with Slark, who has Midas, Scotty, and a Basher, and then they have to deal with the Viper too, who's just even more fat than that. Sing Sing has his fair share of items too, keeping everyone alive. So, I mean, usually Doom's really, really good against like a super farm Slark, but just not this game.
Well, the Doom we saw last time was ahead as well. He had Ags, Shivas, so he could jump on the Slark and just keep him locked down the entire fight, but Misery's got Blink BKB. That's just not enough. You can't disable his passive, and you just can't burst him. Take the rope down. Basher picks up a Koikfa, closing in on an Abyssal Blade. Tinker into the pit. Sing Sing close in hand. Pycat. I believe another item coming for him as well. No, maybe not. I guess the buyback's hurting him too.
Are they gathering it for smoke? Nope.
Can you really take this fight?
Well, I think they have to. They get Aegis to Pycat since he doesn't have a buyback, and then they just put him out in front. I mean, maybe they can go for the same play, but pulling him back into the fountain. But at the same time, if they lose his last rack, his Mega Creeps, then it's over. So they can't really do that again.
Ogre would love to make this one over. Let's see if they find that opening. Up the hill they go. Sing Sing in front. Smoke revealed, and right at that moment, Alliance thinks about sprinting a trap. Then says...
That was awkward.
Awkward. I think wisely ran the hell away there. That was not a good enough opportunity to initiate. And they really want to fight in an organized way where they can get that good RP. But they're going to let Tinker get to high ground and backing off here.
Or pull someone back to the fountain where they really need the damage.
How many force? They have what, double force staff? Yeah. That's enough if you get the skewer off.
Yeah, Blink RP, skewer, force, drag, force.
The concern is if they just let Pycat die twice and just look to take the buildings in the meantime. There is a glyph, though. And they'll blink. They'll Doom Quake for the start. Now they lasso him to follow. They're going to focus the Slark here, not worrying about the Viper, and Quakefa will fall. Does have a buyback. Pops it instantly. That could be problematic as Loda holds on to his own buyback. Slark looking to rejoin the fight. He teleported him in. Still a ways to go for him. Do Alliance keep on pressing in? They won't. So that's a Doom down, a Lasso down. They still have their RP, and they're holding on to it. They go right now. EGM, did he manage to steal it? He did, a level 2 RP, but he's silenced and controlled by Ake. Charges forward against his former teammates. RP's there. Finds, I believe that was 2. Now the Spectre buyback. Loda haunting it immediately. Koikfa, this would be a dieback if he ends up going down. He whiffs his leap. Maybe this is the overextension that Alliance needed. Bulba dropping low, but a Viper Strike ushers Loda back. Now it's Pycat's turn to retreat. Tinker getting slightly cold feet. They'll focus on buildings while the rest of Alliance dealing with the swarm at this point. The Zerglings are in the mid lane. They're through the bottom. They're overrunning your base, killing off your SCVs. Can Alliance hold? They've lost their last outer tower, their last tier 3 tower. Only the tier 4 standing. as Loda is controlled and kited by a multicast. That's a dieback for the Spectre. With that, Ben, probably GG. Looks like Tinker are going to take this one and improve to 6-1, while Alliance will fall to 1-4.
They held pretty valiantly. If their draft was just a tad less greedy, I think they would have been able to hold.
It's starting to be frustrating as a spectator.
The Doom was just a little tough. Although it did
I thought that was a good 4-position Doom. I don't feel like Misery was useless.
Yeah.
How much more can you possibly expect out of a roaming jungle Doom? You know?
Man, I read that Team Tinkerino, Victorino. Jeez, my mind's getting all confused with this.
Well, that was a fuzzy game, and it leaves us now with Tinker atop the standings. There is one undefeated team, though. That's Secret right now, 2-0. They haven't played many games, but
So is Alliance out of the playoff running, or like very close to out of it with this?
They're 1-4, but the thing is, like, this was one of the more threatening teams, right? But you still have to play, if you're Lions, VP Polar, Na'Vi, Cloud9, Empire, who looks a little bit shaky now, to be fair. Pretty much all the teams left on their list are teams that most people would have come into this tournament and said, we'll finish upper half.
Well,
so strength of schedule looks pretty mediocre for Alliance.
and Team Tinker probably looks. I mean,
They've
pretty
played
secure.
most of the top teams.
Yeah,
They played Secret. They still have to play. Tinker has to play Na'Vi, Empire, Cloud9. So still some good teams, but they've already played Secret. Now they've played Alliance. They beat VP Polar, who I think is towards the upper half. They're in good, even if they lose out, they're still borderline. They'll need like two more wins, maybe.
Cool.
Well, guys, with that wraps up today's Summit 2 Europe coverage. We'll be back, and I think we've got, like, I don't know, some sort of Asian Dota. Oh, yeah, we've got China coming up in 12 hours' time. So, well, we had SCA and China at the same time. I just found out, like, Zephyr versus CSW. Yeah, I had a random 90-minute game at 3 in the morning while you were enjoying your sleep, you bastard. All right, that wraps it up, guys. Thanks for watching the Summit 2. LD and Merlini signing off. Follow him on Twitter, @MerliniDota. Myself, @LDDota. And, of course, @BeyondTheSummit. We'll be back in 12 hours.